Hey, I got the idea that I would like to show you how I've stumbled across getting my layout pages set correctly. And I'm also playing some Spotify in the background because I don't monetize anything. And I like to have music when I do this. So let me get that set the right volume. So it's not distracting. Hey, let's just start with the first thing. There was a guy, Gene Davis, on Cheap Talk. He wants to start doing screen recordings, and so he was asking about OBS. And he only uses one monitor on a laptop, so he's going to have this view right here, where you get the infinity. If you had the pixel density, you could see way into here. It's like when you're a kid and you hold two mirrors facing each other, and you peek past one mirror at the other, and you can just see back and forth in between there. And in your mind, you're thinking that light's being bounced back and forth in between there to infinite, but never mind. I'm distracted. I really quickly show you how I set this up. Whenever you get OBS, you need to have screen capture. And sometimes screen capture comes with its own volume for your microphone. I know I saw it once, and then one time I went to make a video and it didn't do it. So I had to add the audio input capture, which is the microphone. No, that's not it. No, I think microphone comes automatic. That's what it is. And then I added an audio input capture. And I can actually highlight this and then go. Right now it's saying default because my Mac is weird. If I tell it to go to Yeti microphone, all of a sudden I'll have, oh, and this is what's crazy. I'll have two audio inputs and they're going to be just a little bit out of sync. So it's going to sound like some weird stereophonic thing. But if I turn one down and I just leave this one the way it is, there we go. That should work. And the screen capture also, you can check to, let's see, display capture. I don't know where the settings are, but I know that it picks up any of the noises that the computer makes. So if you're on a Zoom call or whatever, you'll be able to record the audio as well. I hope that didn't totally mess things up right here. What does this do? Oh, wow. Filters. What kind of filters can I have? A compressor would be good. Okay. Oh, man. I don't know enough about this. I'm used to seeing this in Adobe Audition, and it's a little different. I'm going to have to study this, so never mind. We're not playing with this right now. But anyways, so you set that up, and I believe it also lets you choose. Yeah, so here, you choose your display, which one you want. And I'm actually on this big 43-inch monitor. But that's only part of it. Then you come over here to settings. And I don't think I really change anything in general. And I'm not streaming, so I go to output. And I'm not streaming, so I go to recording. And this is where you can pick, like, it could rescale it to a whole different size automatically. I pick a higher bit rate only because it just seems to make everything more crisp. And then audio, and I don't know what settings to tell you, but I'm just letting you can pause and look at this. Whenever I have default set, for some reason, default never seems to pick the Yeti microphone. Maybe because there's a microphone built into the laptop. So here's my base canvas. This is the size of the screen that I'm recording, and it's a 16 by 9. And then my output scale is the exact same size. So That way I'm not having the processor take what I'm recording and then downsize it to some other size. I could go 1080 or 1920 by 1080 and it would just be standard HD. And I go 60 frames so that the mouse isn't choppy. 30 frames is fine, but some people's eyes can see it when it stutters or lags. So I just wanted to get that out of there. And the rest of these, I think I just leave them alone. It's super simple as a recording system. And typically I'm lazy, so I'll just do the recording and then I'll just upload it direct. I won't do an introduction because sometimes people do a really fancy introduction and then they'll spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about what they're going to talk about. And I start going, okay, get to the point, get to the point. So I like to just get to the point. So that's OBS, right? And you could minimize this and then you're still recording like I'm recording right now. Minimize this and then start your show. But then you're going to have software to edit that, like to cut that front piece off. Or if you got another monitor, like what I just did, I'll just drag it over to another monitor and it's gone. And now we can talk about Chief. So let's talk about layouts. I evolve this thing all the time in different ways. And when you get to the layout, you always want to go to page 0. And this is where you build your title block, however you want to do it. I used to do it where I would put a line all the way around like a box. And then I had letters across the bottom. I believe it was letters. No, it was numbers. So it was letters up the side that was like A and there's a space. So it would be like A, B, C, D, E. And then across the bottom, starting from the right, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they were equally spaced across the bottom and equally spaced up the side. And that was more back when I was doing electrical wiring CAD. It just seemed like all the people in that industry had that type of layout, which was really good for saying, no, it's in like, I don't know, Charlie 3 or something. And then you would find row Charlie and column 3, and it would be in that general area. You'd start looking. And the reason why I got rid of that was I did a couple projects, and like this is 36 inches wide by 24 inches tall when you print it. But I had projects at 1/4 inch scale that were taking up all the space, like to within a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of the edge of the paper. And so it was touching those lines, those bounding lines. And I was like, okay. And so as I started deleting that off, it just got cleaner and cleaner. And had somebody ask me once why I have a table of contents or a sheet index here. And if I put it on the 0 page, this is like your master template. You just put on here exactly the same thing that's going to repeat on every page. So, boom, there it is. And if you'll notice, I'm going to go to page A21 and I'm going to add a page after that. So let's go here. Let's see. Yeah, we're on 21 and it should be, how are we not on? Oh, there it is. Okay. Details. There is no, so how's it reading that? Oh, okay. So that right there is an issue. So there's 20. Here's 21 with sec. So it says there's nothing after this. Well, there's fluoroelectric, but there's nothing on this page. So I'm just going to drop a text right here and just do some letters. Hit OK. So now there's, whoops, now there's this itty bitty text. Man, that's really formatted too small, but yeah, can't even read that. Everybody's like, oh, just use regular text. I like rich text. I don't know why, I just do. All right, there we go. Now, just because that has been put on this layout, technically, really, there's nothing else on this layout. This is all the layout page looking at page 0. And in page 0, there's a blank macro that says read the data for this page, and here's the data for this page. It's now E number, and it's called this, and it's all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I can use that on page 0 by just doing this. There's a field here. So you saw that said layout description, and the layout description is whatever text you put in this, and each sheet has this pop up. So like page 0, page 1. We were on page 21. The layout description is let's do this. Let's add energy codes, and we're on page 0. So here's what this one looks like. Layout label. So let's go look at that. Layout label. So let's go to page, let's pick it, page 10. So anytime you do A, then it's going to put the letter A. And when you do the number sign, it's just going to sequentially start with a number. So page 1, it just says A pound sign, or hash, or whatever you want to call that. So let's go to page 3, and you're going to see site plan here in the title of the sheet. But then you're going to see all these extra things along here. And so that's how that works. So we'll just go to page 3. You can just click on the number, type 3, hit enter. So remember what we saw? It said site plan, and then it had plot plan, survey, mapping, blah, blah, blah. And this text, this box that I created here on page 0 is right justified. So no matter how long you make this, it's not going to bleed over into this. It's going to start here and push itself farther this way. Also, I used the same, this site plan was right here, layout title. So for the very first thing that I'm going to put on this page, whatever it is, whatever I name it up here, whatever I name it right here, is going to be on here and right there, same thing. And because it's not that wide, I don't tend to make these very big. Or they'll wrap text, and I don't have the vertical space. I didn't design it that way. So there's that. Now let's go look at this. We added a page, so there should be, yeah. See, I put that little bit of goofy text on this page, and now it's in the table. Even though on these plans, I can't touch it. So what it's doing is it's going to the table right here in page 0, and this table is reading all of these floors that have something on the layout page. So you could create a bunch of layout pages, and as long as you have nothing on them, they don't show up. So I'm going to go to, what is that, 22? Electrical. So hey, watch this. Let's see if we can do this. Look right here at the bottom, and I'm going to highlight this. Then I'm going to go up here where we can see it, and I'm going to hit delete, and look at that. I got rid of the text. I returned this sheet to blank pretty much. And I know you see all this stuff, but this page technically has nothing on it. And this is just looking at page 0 stuff. I can't grab any of this. I can't interact with it, nothing. And that's how you can have, like, I'll show you. Let's go down here. Watch all this information. These are all pages that I have pre-created that have nothing on them, but they're there in case I need them. Like, I don't do kitchen and bath because I'm no good at designing that. This one has a weird number because it didn't have the A in front of it, so it's just got a hashtag, I'm gonna bet. Yep. So some people like to go like this. Ready? A dash, where hashtag .1. So there's, oh, actually, let me correct that. Usually they don't do the dash. I've seen this a lot. I don't know if it's an artsy thing. I guess it would be cool as if A1 was your framing, and .1 was your first floor, and .2 was your second floor. I guess, you know, you could really break this down. There's an actual standard where you have things that are in the one, like you'll have A100, A200, A300, and all that stuff. I can find that later and try to show you. So we've got this going on. We're going to go over here. Now, you'll have to forgive me because I bought Renee Rabbit's template like a year ago. But I like using Dan Bowman's template because it makes more logical sense to me. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make this work because Renee's got some very cool automation. And he's like, he pushes people to do the working plan view. And I don't like having everything on one thing. I like to come through. In fact, let me just show you really quick here. File, new plan. So this is my Dan Bowman, his plan template with Renee's, what do they call it? Calabiz, whatever that acronym is for all his stuff that I have, like his kitchen tools, closet tools, fireplace tools, all that stuff. And when I work by save pages, here's the way I like to do it. I do it in the order that I put it on the layout sheet. You know, footings, foundation, and then architectural is a word that Dan uses. Pretty much that's just your plan view. And sometimes we'll have basements and we'll have plan 012. And in Washington State we have braced walls because we're using the IRC. And then there's framing, all the different framing for floor, wall, ceiling, and roof. And then roof layout. Roof layout's very plain. It's just a bird's eye view. Not a whole lot of information on there, but it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like from the sky. Plot plans, the ones I use mostly are probably this scale. It just depends, but like on some 5-acre tracts, it's a lot different than if you're just doing a lot in a city. And then Dan created a couple really cool as-builts. If I select this as-built, he's already defined the dimensioning. Let's see here. His as-built dimensioning will go to the surface of whatever the wall is instead of to the framed stud face. And that comes in handy when you're, let's say you're in a house that was built in 1902 and it has lath and plaster. And once you figure out those thicknesses and you build a wall type, then when you shoot your laser, you don't have to do any thinking like, oh yeah, I got to take off 1 inch and 5/16 or whatever the thickness is. You just hit the face of the plaster and paint, and that dimension, when you set the wall and then adjust it with the dimension, it makes it exact. So that's pretty cool because he did that. And then he also did the create dotted lines, which is kind of cool. So you can, when you underlay your as-built on where the drawing is that you're doing the changes for the remodel, as you move a wall, you'll see dotted lines where the wall used to be. And it's a very visual way of knowing the walls you've moved versus where they used to be. And then he took it to a whole other level. Then he showed how you can go to the as-built, turn it into glass house, reference it to the new design, and when you turn on the reference layer on the new design, you'll see parts of the house as it used to be in a light blue see-through where the old walls used to be. And so now you're looking at this 3D dollhouse and you're seeing the old and the new, and so it's really cool. I have a picture of that somewhere, or maybe we'll just do it. But if I use right now, actually, what I'm showing you is Renee Rabbit's template, and I'm really trying to just get familiar with it, and it's crazy. So let's just, not crazy. I mean, he's just, I think he's an alien because he's just like really deep. He really works this stuff. So I'm going to really quickly I'm going to double click the straight wall tool. I want, and these are another thing, the labeling of these are some generic term. And so what I wanted to do was have labeling that made sense to me. Exterior existing 2x4 wall siding. Exterior existing 2x6 wall siding. Exterior new 2x6 wall. So let's do exterior new. And like Dan always says, right click. Oh, come on. Why is it not drawing? What layer am I on? 1. Well, it doesn't let you. Oh, I know why. Hold on. I was middle buttoning. Yeah. My bad. Right click. Come on. Straight exterior wall. You right click first. And then when you let go of the right click, the wall tool is stuck to your cursor. And then you just have to drag it and then left click, drag it and left click, and drag it and left click. And this will be just some simplistic thing. I'm going to auto dimension it. Dimensions manual. This is another thing. So I guess, sure, why not? And I wonder if he's got that rounded. Yes, he does. Oh, no. So I don't like that. As genius as Renee is, I don't like it where it's really that. But it rounds. So maybe, I mean, I could be really close. It could be, yeah, 7.95. But I always do this. And then if this was a certain size, I would say 23 foot 11. And let's go 15 foot 11. And I'm going to explain why I do things like that. I've found, I'm going to delete all these and just do it again. The whole dimension line thing's kind of crazy too. There we go. So and then we check them, right? We highlight the wall, we click the length, and it's perfect. The reason why, if somebody came up to me and said, I need a building that's 24 feet wide by 16 feet deep, I'm going to make it an inch shorter in both directions. And that's what I'm going to make the foundation. I want to see why that's not on. There we go. Now you can see the siding and all that stuff. That's kind of cool. It's distracting when you're designing. So yeah, you click on it. You go to your active layer display. See how it only shows what's functioning with the wall. Turn that on. And you can adjust that here in this gear. You turn everything on but not show all layers. Dan Bowman just talked about that. But anyways, foundation is going to sit, and you know what? Oh man, I'm bouncing around, aren't I? It's frustrating. I'll bet he's got auto. Yep, he's got auto foundation on. It built it immediately. So the reason why I go an inch shy and then I make the foundation flush to the outside of framing is that when you add a 1/2 inch of sheathing to each end, you bring that inch back out. And that way the sheathing can come down and it can nail to the side of your sill plate. And then your siding comes down, and or whatever veneer you're putting on your building. And that way your building with sheathing is exactly the size you asked for. Because I've run into problems where we weren't using corner boards or whatever, and the building was 24 feet, but when you put the siding on or whatever, the plywood and then the siding, you ran into issues where you had to use a piece that was longer by just the smallest amount than a factory cut because the building was an inch more. It was now 24 foot 1 instead of 24 exact. And I've only ran into that once. And when I did, I was like, I will never, ever run into that again. So that's why I knock an inch off everything all the way around. What else? So these are your 3D view tools. Wow, he even has grass and everything. So yeah, he's got his model set pretty awesome. I want to see what he does for his basement. So he does a little crawl space stem wall. I would like to have it, let's see, let's call this something. We'll just call it living room. Labels, yeah, sure. But I'm not going to show, well, let's see what his says when I just leave it checked. Oh, so he just had to say living. Okay, so what I like to do with this is, I don't want that text. Cancel. I want rich text. I want this. That just seems like it's weird. Okay. I don't want 6. So I'm going to start off 1/4 inch scale, 4.5 equals 3/32 seconds when it's on the layout page at 1/4 inch scale. I'm going to go to the middle. Tell you what, we're going to leave that at 6 for the first row. And I'm going to go to macro, global, room information, room name. And then I'm going to change this to 4.5. Oh, come on. Okay, I tried to hit enter and go to the next row. There we go. We're going to do 4.5. And we're going to do global, room, dimensions. And we're going to do... So there, this is another cool one. Not that. Global, room. Now there's 2 areas. See this? There's internal room area and then there's standard room area. Your wonderful government taxes your property based on the standard room area, which is half the thickness of each wall in the room. And so, as far as I can tell, nobody can live inside the wall behind the sheetrock, and yet you pay taxes on that. Because technically you're paying for conditioned space. And but internal is from the face, it's either face of framing or face of finish. I can't remember. I think it's framing. And so if you're going to put tile in this room, you could use internal room area, and it would be the exact square feet of this room. And then you could add an overage percentage of whatever, you know, however good you are or whoever you hire or how complex your design is. Like I just did an as-built of a condominium that had a bunch of angled walls, but they were weird. They were like 52.5 and 37.5 angles. And so if you're putting in flooring can only go one way. You can't spin it around and use the scrap the other way because it has that snap lock-in thing. So every time you hit one of those weird angles, you're ripping a 2-foot angle into a piece, and then you can't use that next fall off 2-foot piece. You have to square cut that, and you never butt a cut piece to a factory piece. You always go factory to factory, factory to factory all the time. So there's a lot of waste that's possible. So either way, you pick standard, it's a little bigger. In fact, here, I'll show you. We're going to do internal, and I'm going to say INTSF. And then we're going to go here, and we'll do the other one. Standard. And we'll call it STDSF. And I like them all in caps, so I use this tool. And sometimes, well, I won't make this bold. Sometimes I do, though. Sometimes I'll go bold, and then we hit OK. And so now you get that, and I can delete this. That looks kind of big for this room, but like if this is a whole house, this wouldn't be that big. But here you go. I got 22'11" by 14'11", so it's measuring the inside of the room. And if we turn the, we're going to find out right now. I'm going to turn on all the layers by turning off where it says here main layer only. And then we're going to go to dimension point to point. And I'm going to grab the sheetrock there. Oh, he's even got circles. That's different. So it looks like his circle grabs the face of sheetrock there. Whoa, come back here. And the face of sheetrock. So This is measuring face of sheetrock drywall, GWB, to face of sheetrock, which that's good to know, because typically when you look at those plans that give you this room and you want to draw something and you're drawing framing, you add an inch to each one of these when you draw it on the inside. So there's a little freebie. But yeah, so the interior or the internal square foot is 342. And we got a tool for that too. I'm going to highlight this and come down here and sure, turn it on. So there is the standard. Because see how it went over the framing wall? And then let's do, what does this one do? That one does interior. See how it's stopped inside? So one of these is called, well, I got to activate it again. One of these is for moldings, and it follows the, you can read what it says right there. Follows the perimeter, makes a room polyline. This one makes a straight standard area, so that's your standard area. And then this one, make room molding poly. Let's try that. Oh, I know what it's going to do. Okay. This works really good if you're going to do a belly band on the outside of the house. You can do this. Let's say your belly band was, for some reason, at 48 inches off the ground. And, well, 0 is going to be the floor. So 40 inches up from the floor. Moldings is not on. We're going to turn it on. And we're going to open up its properties. So it's at a height of that. It's a polyline. It's a selected line. One of these, I'm trying to find the thickness of it. Oh yeah, we don't want this. So we're going to delete this. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to make a, I'll show you. I want this plain base molding. Hit OK. And then what I want to do is come in here and say, so it is, since that's the thickness, I want it to be 1.5. And since this is the height, I want this to be 9.25. And horizontal offset, oh man. I'm going to try this first, just 0.75. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't remember. I think I can take this out to the siding, and when I pop it on the siding, in reality, it's going to stick out 3/4 of an inch beyond that. We will see. And I'm getting, I haven't forgot about the layout yet. Let's look at this. Go up a floor. Do I have that turned on? I got to go see what that's called. Not that. Hit tab. Okay, what is this called? Moldings. All right, so I just need to make, it's on in this view. I need to make sure it's on in this view. Moldings. Oh, it's on. All right, so it's that stuff's still in the wall then. So we're going to open its dialog box. Horizontal offset. What if I did 1.5? What does that do? It's supposed to be a white 2x10 band all the way around here. So I don't know. Well, see, I'm using his template too, and so I don't know if he's got things turned on or off. Huh. Oh, hey, I see it. Look at this. What is this? 1.5. Why is it? Oh. It's going in. That's exactly what's happening. We're going to look at this. I need this to be negative 1.5. Let's see what that does. Okay. Oh, duh. I have to launch a new. There it is. All right. And that's a full 1.5 inches, I think. At least an inch. I think that's supposed to be coming from the framing, but I don't know that for sure. But that would be your belly band. And since I don't really like it being that skinny, what I would do is, oh, there it is. Look at that. Or no, maybe not. I'm going for that. I would open up its dialog, which is this little door down here. But I have a shortcut key that I use. And it makes it faster. I'm going to make that 11.25. And then we're going to go see what that looks like, because that should be better. Look a little more beefy. And 48 is way too tall. So we'll go back to this. I click on there. I hit tab. Well, somewhere around here. Tab. And my shortcut key. And and where is that 48 inches? I think there it is. We're going to drop that to 32. Okay. Did I not do something? Did I miss something? What's happening there? Tab. Shortcut key. Why didn't it take 32? Open that back up and see if it took. Oh, it took this time. Huh. Weird. I must not have done something. So yeah, that lowered it down, so it's in the lower half. So now, here's what I wanted to get. I'm going to send this to layout. So I'm going to go to my layout page. And I don't know what page to put this on. So I'm going to go to 1. And I'm just going to zoom in over here somewhere and just kind of see where do I want to put that. Let's put it on A4. So I can either just have this page where it is, and when I go to send it, I can choose A4. So I'll show you what that looks like. You can click this little, looks like a little plan, send a layout. I click it. It says save plan view has been modified. Yeah, sure. And then it's going to default to the page that I'm on. So on the layout, I'm on page 1, but I can just tell it page 4. And it's 1/4 inch scale, but this is pretty small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 1/2 inch scale. And I just want to see the current screen. So let's just show you what everything you put on here. If I hit it go, here's what it does. Yeah, okay. It brings all this stuff over. But no big deal. Okay, so I never like to forget this. I send it over at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do half. I can tell my text is too big. That's one of the things you're going to do. If you think you're going to come over at 1/2 inch scale, you select, let's just fix this. You come down here, dimension manual. I want to see what layer that, or what 1/4 inch rab favorites. I want it. How does he do this? I'm not, man, this is really fun. I'm actually trying to figure out dimension default. I want it to be 1/2 inch scale. And so then this should be 2.25. The arrow should be into. So now it got a lot smaller. Oh, this one's wrong. I'm going to just delete it. This text will be too big too. This will be 2.25. And we'll make it, oh gee, this will make this like 3. So now when we go back to our layout, yeah, see his dimension lines are way out there. I don't know, there's too much I got to get used to. I'm not used to circles. I'm not used to, he has some really cool macros that make some automatic changes, which are just unreal. But I'm stuck in the mud. I like what Dan does. It just seems more like AutoCAD to me, where it's more, it just feels more in control of every little piece. There's not a lot of blind spots. So we're 1/2 inch scale, and you're like, oh, but I don't want this other crap on here. So then you just click on this, and this is your little portal back to the plan view. So it's like AutoCAD paper space, layout, model space, I guess, model space and paper space. And you just close the window down onto what you want, bring it over here, align it where you want. And here's what's really cool. Once you get this where you like it, you go copy, and then you go to the next page, and you go edit, paste, hold position. Shortcut for me is PH. Or I have a Stream Deck, so I just have this giant big blue H. Somewhere, there it is. So, well, we don't want elevations. What am I thinking? Elevation, elevation, plan foundation, paste and hold. Framing, 0, paste and hold. Paste and hold. Paste and hold. So now watch this. I'm going to go back. Let's see. I'm going to go back to foundation. And I'm going to highlight this, come down here and do this relink layout box. And instead of it being wherever it's linked right now, I'm going to link it to the foundation. And when I do that, it's actually looking at floor 0 right now. And what's the best part is, since I paste and held, every single PDF, this building is exactly located in the exact spot on each page. So if you were to flip through a PDF, this house doesn't jerk around and move from different places. It's locked perfect. Just kind of a little professional looking thing. Framing. I don't know if he has a framing layer. We're going to go find out. I might have a framing. Yeah, here we go. I have a framing layer. I'm going to pick that one. I don't know why it has concrete walls. So now here's what's cool. Go back to the model. So you're working in the model, and we're going to, I don't know, let's put a couple inside walls in. Oh, that looks like a 2x6. I don't need that. Double click. Yeah, interior, new 2x4 wall typical. And we're going to do this. We'll do this. I don't know. This is not even a design that would work. And I don't know why he has those little marks. That's different. What I want to do is find framing, and I want to put the floor system in. I want to just have it build it. Here we go. Build framing. I want to do floor system 6 1/4. What is this? I don't want that. 2x6? Are you kidding me? They get away with a 2x6? No. At least, at a minimum, we're going to do 2x10. Because, you know, we're fatter up here. Rim joist, inch and a half, lumber, blah, blah, blah. Build floor framing. Go. Wow, all these layers are turned off. Oh, he does single line too. That's interesting. Let's look at this. Let's go down a layer. What do I want to do? Show framing. Floor joists. Rim joists. Very cool. So there's that, and it did a double joist because I made a wall right there, and I made a wall right here, so it automatically did that. And if I go to the layout, and I go to the framing section, and I link it, I wonder if I can link it to framing. I wonder if it's going to do that. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong layer. I'm on floor 1. I need to be. There is something for this. I think you right click. I'm missing the tabs. There's what is, oh, so I have to do the open object. That's what it is. So, okay. You highlight the layout box, you come down here to open object. And you can do the same relink that we did right here, is right here. But right now it's reading the first floor. And I want it to read the foundation. And I can change the scale right here if I wanted. Rest of this works. Go. So there you go. So now, as you can see, and another thing you do with your layouts, I'll get to in a minute, but so you can build your layout of your house, and on every page, you can have different things shown. There's, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. On this one, I don't want to, on the foundation view, I don't want to see joists. So I would go here, and what view am I on here? So framing view. There's framing. Got it. Foundation. I don't want to see this on foundation. So I would turn that off. And when I go back to framing, it's on. So now I can say, okay, here's my foundation. I can put my vents in and all that stuff, and just worry about the concrete, dimension it, do all that stuff. And then when I go to the next page, it shows the joists on there. Now I don't see the sill plate or any of that stuff, so that's going to take some work. And I don't normally put concrete hatching in my walls. I guess that's a new feature for Chief. People are kind of excited about it. And then here's the floor plan, or whatever, the as-built. Now the cool thing about what he's done is he has auto build something on. So what I'm going to do first is get rid of this stuff, because it's just going to mess with me. I want to see, where am I going? Right here, and up one. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. Watch this though. I can hit this 3 and come over here and 3, and where's that red? There it is. Pull this out, bring this down, bring this down. Kill this, hit auto re-dimension again. Wow, it's got all kinds of extra good stuff. We'll make this 7 feet. We'll make this 7 feet. And we will make this stick up 3'6". Whenever you do from this offset to the next offset, you can go on whole numbers. You know, like 4 feet over to it, 3'6", whatever. Now when I go to the basement, his foundation automatically followed that and rebuilt. So when I go here and look at it, I have to tell it to reframe, because the framing doesn't auto reframe. I guess I could tell it to do that. But the problem with always having everything on auto mode, like if it keeps doing it here automatic, it uses resources that you might need for something else. Hey, there's the sill plate. It showed up, but it looks like regular wood. That would bug me. I'd have to highlight that and then tell the material to be pressure treated. it'll be right here somewhere. Framing right there. Boom. Hello. Yes. And then it's a pain because you got to go get your well, I wonder if it'll let me. I'm highlighted. I should be able to use where's that tool? There's a tool where I can grab everything similar, and I don't see it down here. It looks like a bunch of dots with a circle around it. It's not letting me, so rather than stand around jaw jacking, I'm just going to say everything on this floor. Mother. Knew that would happen. So here's what we got to do. Each object, let's see what that does. Yeah, that'll work. So if you're looking for photorealistic, come on. Oh, you suck. I got to change the angle of where I'm at. There we go. Then I got to go back to this. So, you know, there's people, oh, you're so fast, it should be cheap. There's a lot of little things if you really want to be accurate. So there's that. Don't let people talk you out of your money. It's acting all weird. See how it's really spiky? So what I do is I'll go in here, I'll find where the camera is located. I don't even see the camera. Huh. That's odd. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to open a new one, and I'm going to see where it shows up. Maybe he's got the cameras turned off, so... What is that under? Camera. Yeah, okay. So usually I leave this on, and see how it's targeting the center of the building? It's going to be perfect. So when you go there, you'll be able to swing around. And then, oh, look, the molding thing didn't work either. So you got to go fix that. You got to go to your plan view. I guess we got to turn on molding. And then you got to go like this and go break it with the number 3 at the siding and break it with number 3 at the siding. And then bring this out. Oh, come on. It didn't. You got to highlight it first to break it. And then you take this red line out to your siding. And we go back. And orbit the mouse, and it's fixed. So that's handy. Nice thing about this is if you had windows here, it'll just stop at the window and then start up again on the other side. Same thing with doors. So there's a brief little to get you going kind of thing on layouts, how they work. See how you don't see the dimensions? So that just means you got to bring your box wider. And it's going to suck over here because I'm probably going to run out of space. Oh, maybe not. And then copy and pasting these things is the genius move, because nothing worse. You draw all this and you're putting it on different layout pages and you're having to try and find a way to pin them to an exact location, because every time I've ever done this, I've always tried to make the building stack exactly. So that when you're flipping from PDF, you're going backwards, forwards, backwards, the whole building doesn't just shift a little bit. It's in line. The other thing to consider about layouts is there's a lot of text that you put on your layout that just stays there. What I do is I have requirements for this county, and then I have like other counties, and I just keep them off to the side. When you print this layout, it only prints what you see in white. So all this other stuff can just stay in your template, and if you need it, you just go grab it and drag it on there. And so there's what people call boilerplate, but the county Kitsap wanted a bunch of the code. So this is like me taking the code book and just writing it down so that whoever's building this has they got what they got to know. There's no, oops, I didn't know that. It's all there, whatever the language is they wanted. These framing notes don't typically change unless the structure changes. This is a pretty cool page. If you want to hit pause and copy it, screen copy it, whatever. It's cool to list all the things that have specific requirements and then just use some kind of call out or whatever. And it just saves a lot of time. It makes it clean. You draw your bathroom and you come down here to the bathroom and where is it here? Tub and shower. So you put a 6 in the shower or in the tub. You put a 7 where the attic access is. Landings are important out here. Well, IRC, I suppose. But I just thought I would just spend a little time on that because it's fun. You can get Home Designer Pro. I think it's like $600. Unless you got deep pockets. Chief Architect, as of January 9, is now subscription only, and it's $2,000 a year subscription, which is cheaper than Revit, and I think it's a little more than SoftPlan. And I don't know what it is compared to ArchiCAD, Vectorworks, or any of those other ones that are out there. But if you had bought the program prior to January 9, which I was telling everybody I knew to go ahead and just buy it, then your yearly maintenance fee is only $600 a year. So they will honor the perpetual license as long as you maintain your maintenance. So it's either $600 a year or $2,000 a year. And if you missed it, well, sorry. Sometimes stuff like that happens. All right, I'm going to turn this off and upload it, and I hope it helps somebody. If you have questions, leave me a comment. I will answer them when I have time. And if you ever want to collaborate, okay, let's just start with this. I make this work so that I can get plans for permit, but I'm not a chief guru. But I'm willing to screen share and help you overcome things. If it's something that I know something about, I'll definitely help you. So have a good one.